especially when that championship was purchased by breathtaking victories, born from the muscle and blood of warriors unwilling to yield. Such was the past season for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Quarterback Craig Krenzel back to lead the offense, doing whatever when he has to. Chris Gamble back to play both sides of the ball. He had more than 100 plays in each of the last 4 games last year. To defend, that is another thing. The first bunch to test the champions will come out of the West, the Washington Huskies, led by a quarterback who is really a cowboy who went to town. Cody Pickett threw for 4,458 yards last year. He carries a .45 caliber arm, and he is senior tough. His prime target, All-American wide receiver Reggie Williams. Big guy, 6'4", 225, 149 receptions in 2 seasons. The result of this opening game may very well echo throughout this season. The Washington Huskies and the Ohio State Buckeyes on ABC Sports. And here are your defending national champions in college football, the Ohio State Buckeyes. More than 100,000 have gathered in Ohio Stadium for this ball game tonight. And when you look down from on top of it, Ohio Stadium no longer looks like a horseshoe. But the faithful will always call it that because of its great history. Home of the Buckeyes, 114 seasons, and they're polishing their brand new national championship trophy. The Ohio State Buckeyes tonight hosting the Washington Huskies. The BCS Spotlight Game of the Week presented by ADT. And hello again, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson along with Dan Fouts and Todd Harris on the sideline. We welcome you to another season of college football on ABC Sports. We've been doing this every season since 1966, and what a relief it is, Dan, to get to the ballpark and have a game after the offseason we've had.
Well, it's been a very chaotic time for both these teams as they now tonight face reality, that being top-ranked opponents. Sometime tonight, one of these two teams is going to struggle. They're going to have to find someone to get them refocused and back on track. Fortunately for both teams, they have excellent leadership in their starting quarterbacks. Seniors Craig Krenzel for Ohio State and Cody Pickett for Washington. Keith, both these teams, both these quarterbacks have different styles, but they both get the job done.
And there are two teams that are hungry to make a statement at the beginning of this season. After the rumor, there has been no decision as yet on Claret, and there is no big hurry. They just want to get it right. Now let's join Todd Harris on the field.
Thank you, Keith. Well, Maurice Clarett has been very incognito. He came out about an hour and a half before the team took their pregame warm-ups, walked the field once, and left the field. He was not on the field during the team's pregame warm-ups, and he was the last one out of the tunnel as they took the field for tonight's game. The usually happy, vivacious, outgoing Clarett, as you can see, is not happy about his situation, but that is his lot in life for the time being. Keith.
Todd, thank you very much. Washington won the toss. They deferred. Ohio State will receive, and the Buckeyes go to the offense first. Sean Douglas will kick it off for Washington, and the feared Chris Gamble, number 7, is waiting for Ohio State to return the ball, along with Maurice Hall, who will start at tailback tonight. It's a pretty good kick. It carries down to the 3-yard line to Hall. And Hall, looking for daylight, goes to the outside. They track him down and stop him short of the 20. It'll be Ohio State's ball around the 19-yard line. The Ohio State offense, led by quarterback number 16, Craig Krenzel. He's 6'4", 225 pounds. He is a senior. He brings a calm to his position. He's a fearless competitor, and he's a lot better passer than advertised. Maurice Hall will be in there as the deep back for the Buckeyes as they come up now, and they go. They've got a double wide. Now they move it around. They'll bring man into the slot. Then Hartsock moves over and fills the right side and goes in motion and comes back to the right, and they'll put it in the air, and they're going deep. and they're going all the way down to the 30-yard line with the pass as Drew Carter, a burner, senior out of Solon, Ohio, could not outrun the defender Rock Alexander. Alexander's a pretty quick guy himself. The backs and receivers for Ohio State, with Clarett ineligible or out at least in suspension. Number 28, Maurice Hall, goes at tailback, and the Buckeyes, as you just saw, have speed at the wideout. The offensive line for Ohio State, all returning starters, tackle to tackle. They average 6'4", 313. They're a load. Second down and 10 for the Buckeyes. This is Hall's first carry. He's met at the line of scrimmage. He's got leg drive that carries him across the 20 to the 21. Jerome Stevens made the tackle for the Huskies. The Washington defense is a worry. Defensive tackles Johnson and Stevens are both seniors. And this group, however, could very well be overmatched against this big Ohio State offensive front. The linebackers, Carruthers moves up from strong safety. They're going to have to help the guys up front. And the secondary, a lot of questions here. Phil Snow coming over from UCLA to work with this group. The safeties probably will be up around the line of scrimmage a lot tonight. Chris Gamble is on the field on third down. And the pass is thrown to the 35-yard line, complete to Michael Jenkins, who led the Buckeyes in receiving a year ago, with Jimmy Newell making the tackle for Washington, and it's a first down for the Buckeyes.
Well, Jim Trensel says he wants to give Craig Krenzel more opportunity to throw the ball. This time they leave in both backs to give him extra protection, and he finds Mr. Reliable right over the middle. Number 12 is Michael Jenkins at 6'5", 215, a huge target. Easy first down for the Buckeyes.
So the chains move it out. The ball is just across the 35-yard line, and Krenzel again throwing. He goes to the sidelines, and it is well beyond the field of play. Michael Jenkins running under it. Derek Johnson defending.
Smart play by Derek Johnson. He pushed Jenkins out of bounds, so even if Jenkins had come back in and caught the ball, it would not have counted. Johnson is a veteran. Led the Huskies with 5 interceptions last year. This is going to be a good matchup between both Derek Johnson and Rock Alexander and these fast wide receivers of Ohio State. Drew Carter was behind Alexander on that first play of the game. Krenzel just underthrew him.
On this snap, you've got Gamble and Drew Carter on the same side. That's closest to the camera here. I mean, that is really a threat. And Krenzel drops. Steps up and throws incomplete underneath, intended for Ben Hartsock, tight end, who had drifted to the outside.
Krenzel true to his word, true to Tressel, telling us that we're going to see more passing out of Ohio State. First 5 plays of the game, 4 of them passes from Craig Krenzel.
Yeah, but there isn't anybody on the field wearing that white shirt that believes they're going to keep doing it.
No, they're trying to loosen them up to start this game, and then you're going to see Ohio State football, which is the power game, off tackle running by the tailback and by the quarterback, Craig Krenzel.
Double tight end. Ryan Hamby is in the ball game for the Buckeyes. Again, dropping to throw. Krenzel's pass down the sidelines, and it is just beyond the reach of the streaking Michael Jenkins. And this time it was Jimmy Newell who was running with Jenkins.
Well, you got to give the Huskies a lot of credit in that opening drive, withstanding the passing onslaught of the Buckeyes. Krenzel had time to throw, man-to-man coverage in the secondary, but that time overthrew Michael Jenkins.
That's Keith Gilbertson, who is the head coach of the Washington Huskies. He was the offensive coordinator under Rick Neuheisel. He had been at Washington 3 times. He was Don James' offensive coordinator when James Huskies won a national championship. That punt is high but not very deep, and it is received by Charles Frederick, who returned kicks last year and is a starting wide receiver. And the Huskies will have a pretty good position for their first possession. It's beyond the 30, out to near the 34. So number 3, Cody Pickett, is the quarterback for Washington. 6'4", 225, 4,458 yards, 28 touchdowns last season. He's the first 4,000-yard passer in Pac-10 history. And Washington comes out and they spread the field. I mean, they go from sideline to sideline. How about this for a start? And Pickett stands up and wings it over here. Comes quickly to the outside man, and the pass is completed. The gain is near the 40-yard line. It is Adam Seary, the fullback. I mean, you had Alexis on the far side, and over here you had Siri, to whom the ball was thrown. The backs and receivers, of course, Reggie Williams is the featured performer here, number one. The offensive line has been some shuffling there because there have been injuries, but there are 10 players that will rotate in and out of these positions, and they have 18 letters, so they know what they're doing. Here's Pickett turning, giving the ball away, and guess who's in the backfield? Big old Salmon Frazier, 6'6", 265, and wham! Down goes the other fellow, Rich Alexis.
In the arms of Frazier.
They marked the ball on the 37-yard line.
Totally unblocked right here, Keith. Mix up in the offensive line. That's Nick Newton, the left tackle, and the best run blocker for the Huskies. Some type of mix-up between him and that reshuffled offensive line of Washington.
Washington has emptied the backfield. This is a play out of the Ohio State playbook. The Buckeyes did it against Miami in the championship game a lot last January. Little short quick pass is thrown behind the intended receiver, Joe Toledo, the tight end, and he was open. That play will show up again, I think, because he was open almost to the point of breaking clear if he'd have caught the ball.
Yeah, Fred Puggage, number 46 on the blitz. The pass thrown behind Toledo, but I don't think Toledo was looking for the ball. That's a hot receiver there who was not ready for the pass. That's critical for Washington.
Gamble, the deep man to receive the punt from Garth Erickson. Erickson is a senior. They've got a freshman punter they want to use, but Keith said last night he just didn't have a hard enough stomach to start two freshmen in the kicking positions. This is Gamble, and he's chased out of bounds at around the 29-yard line. So each team has had the ball. There's nothing on the scoreboard. That was a 43-yard punt and a 9-yard return. But the opening has been quite a bit more than we anticipated. Jim Tressel, in his third season as the head coach of the Buckeyes, his record 21-5 the first two seasons. Of course, that's 14-0 last year. You also should remember that he won 4 national championships at 1AA when he was coaching at Youngstown State. He was there for 15 seasons. His dad coached a very long, successful time at Baldwin Wallace. The Tressel family are native Ohioans, and they've been very active in Ohio football. Here come the Buckeyes now from the 38-yard line. Krenzel gives it away this time to Maurice Hall, and Hall at tailback will slash it up to about the 35, and that's a pickup of about 7 yards. Hall is 190 pounds, but more of a slasher than a power runner.
And Tim Spencer, their running back coach, likes both Maurice Hall and Lydell Ross. The difference being that Hall has more power, Ross more speed, and he's trying to get Hall to work more on those type of moves that he just exhibited there.
Second down and 3 for the Bucks, just short of the 35-yard line. First quarter of play in the opening game of the season, and this will go to close to the first down. Hall again on the carry, and next Saturday, while they look at it, we invite you to join ABC Sports for the college football triple-header at noon Eastern. Boston College and Penn State, or North Carolina State, Wake Forest. Then at 3:30, UCLA, Colorado, or Auburn, Georgia Tech. And at 8 p.m., Florida, Miami, or BYU and USC from the Coliseum. Check your local listing.
Ohio State has brought in Nick Mangold at center, and Stepanovic now moves over to another tackle. More power on the right side.
Well, at the 37-yard line, and they busted in the middle as the fly for the first down was just short. Ball carrying, and Cooper and Galloway combining on the tackle, and the foot's down, and they marked it with the upfield foot, so that must mean it's a first down.
There's Stepanovic, number 76, normally a center, playing right tackle here inside of Shane Olivier, but the Huskies do a great job of anticipating where Ohio State was going to run the ball and stop them for literally no gain.
Too close to call. Looks like they want to bring the chains on. And we are at 10 minutes and 32 seconds in the first quarter with no score. It's been raining almost every day for the last week or so here in Columbus, but right on schedule. The clouds parted in mid-afternoon. The rain has gone away. It's due to come back just after midnight, but it does not rain when Ohio State's playing a night game.
And Ohio State does not lose when they're playing a night game. 5-0 here.
I remember one time, I'm sure many people on the West Coast might remember, we had a USC Ohio State game cut short here a few years ago because of a massive thunderstorm that was slashing down. All right, Stefanovic now has gone back into the center spot. And the tailback runs the ball. Hall finding more daylight. So the junior out of Columbus is finding some room to roam now, and it's Cooper again on the tackle for Washington.
And we're getting back to Ohio State football now, which is power football. They'll run the off tackle both sides. And Maurice Hall starting to get more comfortable in that offensive line. This is a very good offensive line. Big and strong, and they've all dropped weight, which means they worked extremely hard in the offseason. 4 carries now, 16 yards for Mo Hall.
Well, this is simply a matter of banging on them and wearing them down. They did that to Washington State last year in the opener. Cougars led 7-3. That ball goes down the middle. Running under it is Drew Carter. That time his speed pays off, and he beats the Husky defender on the post pattern. So the deep post results in a big gain for the Buckeyes.
Drew Carter runs at 4.340. They say he's the fastest guy on this Buckeye team. And this is just pure speed as he gets inside the outside shade of Brock Alexander, then separates, lays out for the ball. That time, Jimmy Newell, the weak safety, number 26, may have been playing too shallow. You see him not able to get back on that post route.
37-yard pickup on the play. The ball is marked just inside the 20-yard line. Gamble is back in the game, and he is at the top of your picture. That's Gamble with the ball. Coming around, the ball was handed to him, and he's inside the 10, out of bounds at the 5. Well, Jim Tressel had said they don't want to use Gamble all that much until it gets cool. Well, it's inside 75 degrees, so it's cool enough.
Now, this is all he did last year, and it really finished off the season remarkably with over 100 plays in the last 4 games in cool weather. 31 receptions, 4 interceptions. And on special teams, he was extremely dangerous and durable.
It's first and goal just inside the 5 for the Buckeyes. That's Hartsock, the tight end. Krenzel back to throw. Looking. Remember, he's a pretty good runner. And he drops his shoulder and goes pounding to about the 2 before he's belted out of bounds. Graham Lassay knocked him out. Sophomore out of Bellingham, Washington for the Huskies.
No, the Huskies were not fooled by the play-action fake that time, as Hartsock was the intended receiver in the back of the end zone. Actually, it's Ryan Hamby, number 80. You can see open for an instant there, but Evan Benjamin, number 27, did a good job of keeping him in sight and keeping Krenzel from throwing that ball to him.
Dan White Jr., number 89, is checked into the ball game, so now we got a whole bunch of tight ends in there. We got 3 of them. Hartsock now goes out on the wing. Schnitker is the fullback. Ball is given to Hall, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown, Buckeyes. Husky safety Jimmy Newell had it, couldn't hold it.
And it's pure Ohio State power football. The off-tackle power play behind those 2 tight ends on the right side, and big Brandon Schnitker leading the way for Mo Hall.
They loosened him up with that deep post, and then they stuck it in the end zone. And here's your try for point now with Mike Nugent. Mike is a junior out of Centerville, Ohio, and the kick is good. Mike Nugent is the son of Dan Nugent, some of you may remember, who played for the Wisconsin Badgers. So at 8:31 to go in the first quarter, the Buckeyes take the lead over Washington 7-0. There were people wondering about whether or not they could fill the hole left by the departure of Clarett, at least for the time being. Maurice Hall shows you that he's ready.
This is Adrian Clark, Keith. He's dropped 50 pounds in the offseason so that he can run better. This is Ohio State power football. The off-guard pulling. Not finding anybody to hit because Jimmy Newell got inside him, but he got run over by Maurice Hall.
And Maurice Clarett grimacing on the play, but it worked. Lydell Ross is next to play at the tailback position for the Buckeyes. So here's Ohio State kicking off now. And drifting under it for the Washington Huskies. Bring it out. Penalty flag goes down. The first one of those we've had for the ball game. Derek Johnson bringing it out for Washington. Dick Hornig calls foul, pushing the back, illegal use of hands by Washington, so that'll cost them some of that return. ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by SBC. Ordinary people, extraordinary job. Olive Garden, when you're here, your family. Chevy Silverado, it's the right truck. And Budweiser, the best things in life are the things that are true. Budweiser. Ben drives a Silverado. It's Olin. On the 22-yard line. First down for Washington. Rich Alexis is in the tailback position, and Cody Pickett rolls out and delivers the ball to Joe Toledo. It figures that the tight end will be available to Pickett quite a bit of the time tonight, because if you remember in the championship game, Ohio State intent was to take away the primary receivers for Miami, and in the process, Kellen Winslow Jr. had one of the great games of all time.
Yeah, he had 11 receptions, and Joe Toledo at 280 pounds just delivered a heck of a hit to Robert Reynolds at the end of that play.
Bobby Whitthorne, after the first down, is in the ball game. Throw quickly to the outside. That's the first time the ball has been thrown to Reggie Williams. There's a big fight on, and they go tumbling out of bounds, and Chris Gamble is strutting a little bit because he made the hit on him, and that's going to be the matchup in the ball game all night long, I suppose.
Yeah, this is a All-American against All-American here. Great reaction by Gamble. Ball was thrown well. Now the gang tackling. Watch the ball get ripped loose, but well after the whistle. But we'll keep our eye on this battle all night long. A.J. Hawk there flying in and ripping it loose.
Gain of 4 yards on the play. The ball is at the 37. We're at second down and 6. And Corey Williams and Sonny Shackelford now check in for Washington. So they're moving people in and out. And hand it off this time to Rich Alexis. And Alexis will come up just about a yard short of his first down.
Good job by the senior running back, Rich Alexis, finding the hole on the weak side. Watch as he starts over here, does not follow his fullback, and finds the crease and picks up about 8 yards. A little delayed draw by the Huskies and a big gain on the ground for Washington. Something Keith Gilbert says is imperative that they get their running game going again.
Call it third down and 2, and behind the line of scrimmage, the tackle is made by Damian Scott. Darian Scott. Scott has been dinged up some. He's a 280-pound senior out of Charleston, West Virginia. Boy, he was Johnny on the spot for that one.
He has battled back and groin injuries this summer. Looked pretty healthy on that play. Great quickness and explosion to stop Alexis in the backfield.
So the Huskies will have to punt it away. It's Garth Erickson getting the ball in the air, and it is taken back at the 20 and returned 2 yards by Chris Gamble. Aerial coverage for tonight's football, courtesy of the Outback Steakhouse Airship Bloomin' Onion 1. The Outback Steakhouse Airship specializing in college football and PGA golf coverage. So look for the Bloomin' Onion at sporting events throughout 2003.
That wouldn't be bad for halftime, would it?
No, I wish they'd bring me a Bloomin' Onion.
Or 2.
Owen Biddle checks in. Joe Lobendon is in the ball game for Washington now on defense. Lydell Ross now checks into the backfield for Ohio State as they work their tailback tandem. Lydell Ross is a 210-pounder, and he's got the ball. Bounces off one man and then bouncing one up across the 26 to the 27-yard line. That's pretty good stuff. About 6 yards.
You see how anxious he was to get that ball and get going. He ran into the back of his own lineman. But that hole on the right side behind Shane Olivier and Bryce Bishop held up long enough for him to pick up a nice gain of 5 yards. Hartsock, an excellent blocking tight end, and look at how Bishop just cleared the way on the inside.
Yeah, this is a good offensive line. They spread them out again. Ball is thrown underneath. Found the seam, Michael Jenkins, and it's good for a first down. And I mean, that was thrown with authority right on the number.
Well, we're seeing Ohio State to really diversifying their offense. We've seen the power running game. They started the game throwing the ball 3 out of 4 times. And now with that shotgun formation, first time we've seen that for Krenzel and the Buckeyes. The pass protection was excellent. Gave him time to find Jenkins wide open over the middle.
Jim Bollman is the offensive coordinator for the Buckeyes, so it's obviously Jim and all the offensive guys have had a pretty good preseason because they look very efficient.
Well, they're taking advantage of their personnel. They have speed at wide receiver, and of course with Ross and Mo Hall, they have very capable running backs. And the guy that makes it all work is Krenzel behind a very experienced offensive line.
I don't know what this is all about. Game clock, is that what it is? Has to do with the clock, I'm pretty sure.
They have different times at both ends of the stadium. Yeah. About a 5 seconds difference. We'll just have to figure out. That's the old home field advantage. You start one clock running, keep the other one stopped.
Well, the big one to the right says 5:23, and the other one says 5:28. And sometimes in the clock.
It's beautiful. What a scene.
Ball on the 39-yard line, where it's a first down for the Buckeyes. Washington showing a 5-man front here. Ball is handed in the middle to Lydell Ross, and Ross is in there for about 3, maybe 4 yards before Newell makes the tackle. And now let's check in with John Saunders. Carter goes way wide now to the top of the picture. Michael Jenkins is up there with him. This is Hartsock, the tight end. All is fake. Kept by Krenzel. Steps out for time. Throws. His man is wide open. Michael Jenkins hit him right on the numbers. It's another big pass play for Ohio State.
Krenzel is so underrated in his ability to escape pressure and keep his focus down the field. And in a receiver like Michael Jenkins, obviously his favorite receiver, look who he's looking for. Jenkins gets behind the strong safety Owen Biddle by about 5 yards. Biddle is not even in the picture when the ball is delivered and out of bounds. 43 is Owen Biddle. He is 12 to 15 yards trailing Michael Jenkins. 3 catches now for Jenkins.
Santonio Holmes, number 4, a freshman, has checked in. He's at the top of your picture. He's so fast they say he doesn't even leave any dust when he runs. Ball is, however, swung out to Lydell Ross. Ross gets out there one-on-one. He eludes 2 Husky tacklers. And finally, Scott White makes the tackle, but it's after he has reached the 24-yard line.
This is a pretty good tailback tandem going for Ohio State in this first quarter. We've seen the power of Mo Hall, and now the quickness and moves and pass receiving ability of this man, Lydell Ross.
It's half and half almost on your play selection. It's a bit of a surprise, I'm sure, to a lot of people to see the ball flying around, but it's going to the right people. Here's Ross again, a couple of yards.
And that's what Jim Bollman is trying to do to the Husky defense. Going to try and wear them out with power, spread them out with formations, use some of the speed at wide receiver, and all the time letting Craig Krenzel make good decisions.
Campbell checks back in for Ohio State, but you know, getting past that offensive line of Ohio State's like trying to climb a wet dike. I mean, it's fearsome. Second down and 9 coming up.
It's quite a wall that they formed. That pocket has been perfect tonight.
Strong side right for the run. Wide outs at the top of the picture. Gamble's on this side. He goes underneath right down the middle of the field. He's looking to throw a block, but Krenzel comes out of the pack and finds daylight. Corner, touchdown. Michael Jenkins was the man that threw the block that got him home.
Keith, the longer this run and this play went on, the better Craig Krenzel felt about it. He was going to throw this pass. It was going to be a wide receiver over screen to Chris Jenkins out to this side. Rather to Chris Gamble. Didn't like it. Now things just open up. And now the speed, and the dive. What a play by Craig Krenzel as he got helped down in the secondary.
Mike Nugent. B.J. Sander holds it, and it is good. So the Buckeyes, at 2:51 to go in the first quarter of play, jump out to a 14-0 lead. And they look pretty good.
Chasing him, and they've got him. And then he gets away, stumbles ahead to the 40, 35 to the 30, to the 25-yard line.
So you can see that Craig Krenzel is used to making big plays. In that ball game in overtime, the Buckeyes finally took the lead and stopped Illinois to win their 12th game of the season. So this young man, who has honors grades in molecular genetics studies, is doing just fine, thank you. He got engaged this summer. He's got a full plate. Mike Nugent kicks it into the end zone beyond the field of play. And it'll come out to the 20-yard line for Washington. Coming this fall, meet a team who is under direct orders from the president. One mission, that's to keep us all safe. A new drama called Threat Matrix. It comes Thursdays this fall on ABC.
Keith, the Huskies have got to get the ball to Reggie Williams. He's their playmaker. They've got to get something going. A first down would be nice. They've had 2 straight possessions of 3 and out.
Ball batted down. Incomplete forward pass. Will Smith, who had a big ball game, had 8.5 tackles in the championship game, and reached up, batted that away. If he had it to do over, he might catch it.
He was thinking about it. He's 6'4". Watch as he fights through, then gets just one hand up on that ball. That ball was intended for Reggie Williams on a quick screen to the outside.
Will is a senior out of Utica, New York, 265-pounder. Huskies come up with double wide now. Alexis is in the backfield. Charles Frederick and Reggie Williams are the wide people. Williams coming across the middle.
That might be a backward pass.
That's thrown out of bounds, so it still remains Washington's ball. Alexis was the man for whom it was intended.
That was a backward pass, it appeared, and its ball should be back spotted where the ball went out of bounds.
Down and 10. Pickett drop pressure. They run him down. Number 75, Simon Frazier.
Second big play of the night for Simon Frazier. He stopped Alexis in the backfield on the first drive, and now he's going to get free. Working against Khalif Barnes, number 65, who's the Huskies' best pass blocker.
Erickson now stands well back in his end zone, and Chris Gamble is waiting just across midfield. But the Buckeyes should come out of this with very good field position, a very low kick bounding along on the new turf. Gamble working his way to the 45, short of the 40, down at the 41. Simon Frazier loves ice hockey. He's a big hockey fan. He skates a lot and goes down once in a while and skates with the hockey team here in Columbus, the professional team. Can you imagine what it would be like to have him come skating out onto the ice, just warm up and put a thought or two in the mind of the opposition? Ooh.
Would be my first guy off the bus. There's no question about that. You know, he's so big. We have a university named after him in Canada.
Yeah, it's over in British Columbia. It's a fine university, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, with an outstanding athletic department.
Yep. First down, the ball is on the 41-yard line for Ohio State. They lead 14-0. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. We're at the Ohio Stadium alongside the Olin Tandy, and it's full of water because it's really been raining, and the ball is thrown over the head of the intended receiver and beyond the field of play. Drew Carter trying to track it down, couldn't do it. Derek Johnson covering.
That was excellent coverage by Derek Johnson. Kind of had an idea that the Buckeyes were going to go deep with this great field position. Also felt that Carter was going to try the post route as he got earlier in the game.
Needless to say, the Washington offense has not been productive so far. Williams has caught 1 ball. scene 2. Second down and 10 for the Buckeyes from the 41. Bam Childress is on the field now for the Bucks. The ball is handed to Lydell Ross. First man missed him. Second man tripped him at the 39-yard line. Now again, John, for another update.
Our heels a little tonight, I would think.
Third down and 8. Prinzel in the shotgun. Just got it off. Ball is thrown too low for Michael Jenkins. Jenkins had the half a step on the defender, but the ball was too low for it. Derek Johnson was covering, but he were there already. And is to improve when they get home. They play Indiana next week. There's pooch kick, trying to kill it deep down there. He's going to bang around and go into the end zone. Here's a comment from Keith Gilbertson about getting the job that he so wanted, but getting in. Well, let him tell you about it.
It's bittersweet in that, you know, I didn't like to see what happened. What happened happened. It wasn't fun. I enjoyed the heck out of working with Rick Neuheisel. We did some good things together. But at the same time, and a chance to coach at a school that you've always followed your entire life, heck, you got to be just thrilled with that aspect.
I've known him a long time. He's a good man, a good football coach. He was a head coach at Idaho 3 years, California 4 years. Rich Alexis on that carry will pick up 3 yards on the play. It'll be second down and 7, and Washington desperately needs to get some first downs now and get some confidence.
And that's exactly what they have to do. They have to be stubborn about running the ball right now. The passing game is just not clicking because of the way Ohio State is changing their secondary, but also that pressure from that offensive line. They got to slow them down by pounding the ball right at them.
They're going to spread them out.
Yeah, they are. Nobody in the backfield.
Somebody's got to keep those big old linemen out of there. That ball is thrown on a slant, and here's that play. Reggie Williams has broken that a number of times for really big plays. He was close to it that time. Brought down by Will Allen.
Yeah, middle linebacker Fred Puggich a little late getting over there, and then Allen had to make a touchdown-saving tackle. Here's Puggich. Here is Williams. Nobody there. Tough catch in traffic. And another big play by Will Allen, stopping a disastrous play. Potential touchdown for Washington.
First quarter comes to an end as the Huskies pick up a first down on that reception by Reggie Williams. And so maybe they can get a little something going here and become a bit more competitive for Ohio State, which has been dominant so far. ABC Sports presentation of college football returns after this message and the word from our ABC station in the backfield behind Cody Pickett. And quickly he goes to Charles Frederick. And Frederick is lassoed at about the 46-yard line by Simon Fraser. Here is Todd Harris.
Well, Keith, one of the questions surrounding Washington was who was going to offer the leadership up. Would it be the players? We know Cody Pickett's more of a silent guy, leads by example. Well, during that last exchange when Ohio State had the ball, Bobby Kennedy, the receivers coach, he got together and had a nice little chat with his #1 receiver in Williams and E.T. Charles Frederick. He told them, you guys have to get this thing started. They came out, the spread offense now seems to be working with #1 and #10 being the primary targets. Keith.
Thank you. Second down and 8, 2 tight ends of the ball game right now, and you've got Alexis in the backfield, and that ball is snapped out to Williams. Williams is going to have a first down as he gets on the Ohio State side of the field, and that's big news. First time the Huskies have been there. Chris Gamble was on track.
He was coming on the blitz, Keith. Great read by Cody Pickett. There goes Gamble, leaving Williams all alone. Boy, you couldn't ask for a better coverage than that.
Nope.
As he gets down the sidelines, and a belt to tackle by the back of the pants by Nate Sally. But Gamble almost got a fingertip on that ball. Great read by the senior quarterback, Cody Pickett.
Well, he saw him coming. He picked him up. That's that thing about vision. He says it's improved every year, and you need it. Going big down the field. Reggie Williams can't track it down. He overthrew him. He had him available. It was a tight fit but it was the best chance to get the ball to him as Gamble and Allen were both back there.
Well, our Pacific Life game summary is all Ohio State in that first quarter. Greg Krenzel finds Drew Carter for a bomb over the middle of 37 yards. Pure speed by Carter. That set up this 2-yard touchdown run by Mo Hall. 7-0 Buckeyes. And then Greg Krenzel from 23 yards out shows speed, desire, and leadership. 14-0 Buckeyes.
Washington down at the Ohio State 44 now. Cody Pickett with a little bit of option action, but Simon Fraser just stayed at home and made the tackle.
Yeah, I think Husky fans don't want to see that too often. Pickett has battled shoulder problems early in his career. We want to keep this guy standing upright, but he likes the option, Keith. We talked to him last night. I asked him, you going to run any option? And he says, we might. And a little grin broke out on his face. I think he wants to prove to people that he indeed could be an option quarterback.
Fraser, who is the younger member of that starting defensive front, has 4 tackles, 3 for a loss tonight. So he's making a statement. And on 3rd down and 9, Pickett's pass is bounced to Rich Alexis. There was pressure. There were people climbing all over him, and the ball hooked on him a little bit, and he threw it right in the turf.
That's 2 big shots in a row for Pickett as he gets drilled in the pocket this time. Will Smith, number 93, from the left side, and then there's that man Simon Fraser again. Boy, that shot with the helmet right under the shoulder pads to the back of Cody Pickett. Yeah, that hurt.
Yep. All right, the punt comes now with Erickson. Chris Gamble waiting for it, standing back at the 10-yard line. They'd like to give Ohio State a long field if they could here. Low kick spinning over the head of Gamble, and Gamble watches it go into the end zone. They'll come out to the 20-yard line where the Buckeyes will have it. At 13-12 to go in the first half, it's 14-0. It's a 14-0 lead for the Ohio State Buckeyes, and here's a big fella who once played quarterback in this stadium. Boy, this is someplace now.
Oh man, you guys haven't been back yet since the
first time I've seen it.
Beautiful, isn't it?
It's not it's lost all the romance.
You think? What do you think of this booth? I think they did this just for you.
I hope so. They always fix it after I leave, right?
That's right.
Well, a lot of things been going on, Kirk. We want to talk to you about some of them as the ball game rolls here, and Ohio State starting at the 20-yard line. They've been dominant so far in the ball game. And there's some contact, and it's against Washington unless number 71 picked up his hand and moved. You live here. You went to school here. You're very much involved in the city of Columbus and this whole community. What has all of this turmoil caused? Anything at all?
Well, I think initially it was a shock. And I think as time went on, I think for most fans, and especially for the coaches and the players, I think they got pretty annoyed with it. They felt that it's a team game, and sure, we'd love to have Maurice Clarett there involved and playing and helping them making this team as good as they could. But at the same time, they wanted to move on. And the media, and I think the fans and the hoopla just would not allow him to put it behind him. I think maybe this game could finally put an end to it.
The way these two guys are running a tailback, they look pretty good. It looks like a fair combination to me. I think the team looks terribly efficient. The matter of focus, and that's what you always talk about as we've got another first down on that run. This team went through so many hair-breadth moments last year. I think they have focus. They have confidence.
I think that's a great point. I think you think about the adversity they faced last year. 5 times they had to come back in the fourth quarter to win games. Now this year, 18 of those starters returned from last year. And I think more than anything, that has helped them deal with the distractions this year. And I think that's why they've been able to put it to the side and get ready for this game.
Doesn't hurt having a quarterback, a senior quarterback with all those brains. And how about that speed he showed on that touchdown run?
Troy Smith carried there. Number 10's in the ball game, and we're talking to Kirk Herbstreit, who played here, and I think you deserve to see the agility of it. I'd forgotten you were bow-legged.
Yeah, look a little bow-legged there. But you're right about Craig Krenzel's speed. He makes me look like I'm about a 5'1" running there. But Dan, you know what it's like to have experience. Last year, Craig Krenzel was under center. He was trying to fight just to earn the spot to be the starting quarterback. And after going 14-0, he just looks so much more confident in his first game of the year.
Well, they're doing a great job of taking advantage of the personnel. How about that catch?
Roy Hall went up and simply took the ball away from Chris Massey.
Now, Roy Hall is somebody they want to get into some of this action. Excellent special teams player, but boy, he went up at 6'3", 228 pounds. Look at the hands here as Massey's all over him. That looks like Michael Jenkins.
Well, I think that's the thing that Jim Tressel's been stressing is players like Roy Hall and Santonio Holmes, who weren't even involved really last year. Drew Carter, you've seen glimpses of early tonight. And, of course, Michael Jenkins and Chris Gamble. The skill at wide receiver, the experience at quarterback is really showing tonight for Ohio State.
Into the middle goes Maurice Hall from the tailback spot. He's going to be met just about the line of scrimmage by Jimmy Newell. Of course, the harsh 3 words that every coach hears after winning a championship is do it again.
In this case, I think that when you return so many starters, a schedule that's pretty friendly as far as having 8 home games. Now he has to go to Wisconsin, go to Michigan, and go to Penn State. But I think expectations are always high, especially in Columbus and especially after you're coming off a national championship run.
My feeling the other day was if they can repeat and win 14 games, we wrap them in crystal and saber.
Well, he can run for governor, so I think he's in good shape already in this state.
It's a little too late for that California governor.
I think he's smarter than that. Penalty flag.
They came out early, scored a touchdown, took the crowd out of the game. SC looks great today.
That big number is that 0 their defense is pitching. Shutout against Auburn.
That's Lydell Ross on that little swing pass, and he's across the 45 on the Husky side of the field, and they'll mark it at about the 43. We've got BYU and USC. That's where we're going to go next week.
Well, what do you guys think of the Pac-10? USC is a team from last year. They returned some players. Seem like they really have a longest team in the country.
And they have got the conference's attention with what they're doing tonight down in Alabama against Auburn. But don't forget about Oregon State. They play tough defense, too. And I think that defense, although the conference is famous for their passing and their offense, defense is what will win the Pac-10 this year.
I think Arizona State also, with Dirk Cutter in his 3rd year, might have a team to watch out for.
3rd down and 8. Krenzel looking, pressure coming for the first time tonight. Huskers got a little heat on him, but he's still getting away, and now he'll go down at the 45-yard line. But winning the Big Ten is still one of the hardest things in the world.
Well, it's such a grind physically. You know, I think that between the weather and the style of football that they play in the Big Ten, it's by the time you get ready for mid-September and make a run to the end of November, you got to be really lucky. You know, Ohio State was very lucky last year with health, and they caught some breaks throughout the season.
Yeah, and their schedule's pretty favorable. 8 home games, 5 in a row.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, San Diego
don't like
State.
to travel or anything?
Well, last year they had 8 home games, and throw in the 9th if you include the Cincinnati game.
Yeah.
Box out of there by B.J. Sander. And a fair catch called in bad territory. A fair caught it on the 9-yard line. And so they're going to stay in the hole here for a minute unless they can come up with something decisive inside the 10.
They go for the ball game. Touchdown! Touchdown! Michael Jenkins on 4th and 1. Holy Buckeye!
That was against Purdue. Ohio State winning 10-6 for their 11th victory of the season. Brent had to take a nap after that. Ball's on the 9-yard line. And Washington is having their troubles with these Ohio State Buckeyes. They're going to run it. Nothing. I mean smack dab nothing. Maybe a half-a-yard loss. Alexis weighs in at 220, so he's not a gimme, and he's got good speed, but there is no place to go.
Again, I think Keith and Kirk, you know, this experienced defensive line, and then you got these linebackers who are able to run free because the guys up front, they tie up that offensive line, and the linebackers making all the tackles.
Seems like Ohio State's not really respecting Washington's running game at all right now because they don't have to. It allows them to pin their ears back.
And this Simon Fraser has really shown up for his starting role, hasn't he? This is Alexis again. And bingo, there's Bobby Carpenter. Down he goes. We go to John Saunders for this update. Keep in the loveliest village of the Plains, I bet you. Kenny James checks into the ball game now for Washington. They're trying to find somebody that can move it on the ground. And Cody Pickett, just biding his time, got a little bit of a breath there and completed the pass out to the 20, and that'll be a first down. Charles Frederick was the man that made the catch.
Well, that was real toughness by Pickett. He didn't have to take a shot or anything, but he had to hang in the pocket long enough for Frederick to clear the linebacker here and give himself a target. Key play for the Huskies.
Who do you feel is the best quarterback, Dan, in the Pac-10? Every year, guys seem to emerge, young players. Is Pickett the guy?
I think he's the guy. What I like about him are his mechanics and the way he can see the field. He has improved his vision, and he's got such a quick release.
Oh, that's almost picked off. Chris Gamble almost had an interception and might very well have had a touchdown. He just missed it.
And just after you praise somebody for reading the field and seeing the defense, he doesn't see number 7, Chris Gamble. Gamble should have caught that ball. He should be celebrating a touchdown. Breaks on the ball quickly, knocks it away from James. Should have been in the end zone.
Alexis is banged up. He's on the sidelines. James is in, and they lost Singleton with a broken bone in his left foot, so they're not as deep at that running back spot as they thought they were going to be. There's a ball thrown to the outside, and it's taken by Frederick again, and Charles is close to another first down.
Not only is Singleton out, Keith, but Shelton Sampson has been battling migraine headaches. Migraine helmets. That's what he might need to wear. But so the Huskies are really thin at tailback. Remember, James is just a redshirt freshman. A lot of promise, but this is quite a place to break in, isn't it?
Oh, my goodness.
This is where they really need Rich Alexis on 3rd and 1. But they don't have it.
Got Kenny James back there. Yeah, he's got the ball, and the Buckeyes got him. A.J. Hawk with his first clean tackle of the night, and he's a newcomer to the linebacking corps.
And he got help from the safeties, Will Allen and Nate Sally on 3rd and short. We're crowding the line of scrimmage, and when James tried to bounce to the outside, there they were, number 4 and number 21.
And if there's any question about this Ohio State's defense, it's really about the new safeties. You lose two four-year starting senior safeties from last year's national title team.
Let him go! Ball is kicked away by Erickson. Gamble waits, takes it at the 27. Better get him quick. And they finally track him down up around the 33-yard line. At 5:42 to go in the first half, 14-0 Buckeyes. And Tampa Bay didn't beat up a whole lot of folks in the preseason, did they?
They beat up the Raiders, so.
Into the middle. Maurice Hall carries for Ohio State. Incidentally, Fred Puckett Jr., who plays in the middle linebacker position for Ohio State, his father was on the staff here of John Cooper for a long time. He's now with the Oakland Raiders in the NFL, Fred Puckett Sr.
There's Junior.
Yep. I don't know if he's big enough to play with the ferocity that he wants to, though. I mean, he really throws his body around.
He does throw it around. He's coming off some injuries that he had throughout camp, so a little bit of a surprise. He's been been able to come out tonight and play as much as he has.
5:03 to go in the first half. It is 2nd down and 8. Krenzel stands up, looks, throws quickly to the sideline. Pass caught by Bam Childress. And Childress is bammed as he gets up to the 45, and here's a penalty flag.
Yep, late hit by Washington on Childress, who is well out of bounds.
Evan Benjamin got there too late.
This is what the Huskies just can't afford to do, is make dumb mistakes like this.
After the play, personal foul on the defense, 15 yards, first down.
Childress runs a down and out route, and against the zone, there's just nobody there as the wide receiver clears out. There's the late hit as Childress is out of bounds when Lobendine gets to him. There's the shot right there. That's the one they call. Evan
That's the one they
Benjamin
call.
with the late shot.
Well, they took away the halo. We've had a couple of instances where you wasn't sure that, well, I don't know, that young fellow from West Virginia today that took a hammer. I don't know if it's all right or not. Got up and walked off the field. This is Krenzel, and he's caught and sacked by a pursuit of Terry Johnson. Johnson is one of the big guys in the middle, along with Stevens, that have to hold up the middle defenses for Washington. The views of the ball game tonight provided by the Outback Steakhouse airship, the Bloomin' Onion 1. Captain Mitch Johnson at the controls. And the great overhead shots means I hope you guys are going by the parking lot at the hotel and drop off some of those Bloomin' Onions. Ball sitting on the 48-yard line for the Buckeyes. It is second down and now 18. So they've wobbled for just a bit here. They were almost perfect up until about the middle of the second quarter. Krenzel lets it go, and it is incomplete. There was good coverage on Roy Hall by number 21, Derek Johnson.
Well, you know, if the Huskies play more man-to-man in the secondary, I think they'll be okay, because these corners, Derek Johnson and Rock Alexander, can cover man-to-man. They have more trouble in zone coverages. That ball was forced by Krenzel. Lucky it wasn't picked off by Johnson.
He's out of sync.
Well, at 14-0, the Huskies are still hanging around. Ball is thrown quickly to Childress, so they're going to him a lot. He's running in traffic. Good job, too. Man, looked like he'd been greased. Broke the tackle of Scott White, and they finally put him away. So, Kirk, thanks for your time.
Sure.
Appreciate it. Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you guys, too. Have a good game.
All
righty.
You guys on game day, you're traveling a lot this year, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. 14 or 15 weeks we'll be on the road.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Well, you don't count this being on the road, though.
No, this is great. I did a Thursday night game with the Hurricanes and came right back up.
There you go.
It's kind of fun to drive to work.
You should know, right?
Ball is pooched and down at the 1-yard line. So a terrific job by B.J. Sander to pooch it up there and kill it deep. To Alexis right now, and he comes back on the field for this series. Well, he's all right. We thought he was hurt, but he's shaking it off apparently, and the ball is taken by quarterback Pickett. He tries to sneak it a bit. Here's Todd Harris.
All right, Keith, quickly on Rich Alexis. It was a helmet to the knee. They just say it's a knee contusion. He is obviously going to play some more, but they're going to keep an eye on it. They just didn't want him to stiffen up, so they kept him out only one series. Keith?
It's kind of muggy tonight. It's not very hot, actually, but it's a kind of a night where I would think the players could stay pretty loose.
I think Washington really drew a break here tonight. The weather back here has been very hot and humid, but a lot of rain lately, clouds all day, and very pleasant evening.
It's second down and penalty flag. So they're on the 1-yard line now after the penalty. Alexis in the end zone. Pickett stands up, throws, and the ball is dropped by the tight end Bandel. Ball was a knuckleball thrown by Cody Pickett, and thrown a bit behind Bandel. And so Washington is clawing and scratching in the third down and 10.
On the terrible, yeah, the field position is horrible. These are not Cody Pickett-like numbers.
The last defensive series, though, Dan, I thought Washington played it its best football of the night.
It's because they had better field position.
Yeah.
When you get away from the shadow of your goalpost, things kind of relax for you. This is tense time for a quarterback when he has to take the snap with his feet in his own end zone.
Penalty flags as Alexis takes the ball and gains a yard running over the left side. Rob Meadow trying to open the door for him, and the movement was by Meadow as he was eager to get started, I think.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, half the distance, still third down.
This is what Keith Gilbertson talked to us about, is concentration, especially by the offense, and how crucial it is on the road in this environment.
But the crowd actually is kind of quiet.
Well, it's quiet up here, Keith, because we're 7 miles high, but down there it's pretty loud.
I know the 10 stories. I mean, Pickett rolling in the end zone. Here comes the heat. Ball thrown, incomplete, intended for Reggie Williams, and he had company. There were 2 Buckeyes right with him every inch of the way.
Well, and this is where it's going to get real nervous for Husky fans, because remember, they have a new snapper in Tim Galloway, number 34, snapping to a new punter in Garth Erickson. And Erickson will only be 10 yards from the line of scrimmage.
They have 6 possessions. They have 6 punts already, and they're -7 rushing.
He cannot step out of the back of the end zone, or it'll be a safety.
Well, he got it out. Low line drive right to Gamble, and Gamble is on the move. Taken down at the 25-yard line. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. New Berry Burst Cheerios. Don't say it too fast. Capital One. What's in your wallet? And Singular, the wireless company that fits you best.
Smart play by Chris Gamble, only lining up at about the 35-yard line for that punt, knowing that Erickson does not have a strong leg and had to get rid of the ball quickly.
Ball's on the 25. 2:07 to play in the half. And Ohio State knocking on the door again. Contact before the snap. It's either offside by Johnson or false start by Adrian Clark. 23, Auburn nothing. Wow. Pete Carroll's done a heck of a job. Really has. This is Lydell Ross, and he hits in there with some authority. Gets it just over the 20.
Chris Gamble getting a breather on the sidelines. We've seen him back as a punt returner. He's been on special teams 7 times, just 4 times on offense. And frankly, they haven't needed him on offense. When you look at who's caught the ball, Drew Carter, Michael Jenkins, Roy Hall, and Bam Childress. A lot of talent at wide receiver for the Buckeyes.
This is Ross. And Ross about a yard. You've got 2 clashing cultures becoming one big happy family, they hope, on It's All Relative, a new comedy coming out Wednesdays this fall on ABC. The clock is running at 1:05 to go in the first half of this football game with Ohio State on top of it, 14-0.
And the Buckeyes have all 3 of their timeouts, Keith. You expect them, after they pick up the first down here, they'll use one of those timeouts.
Well, the way they have dominated the ball game so far, Dan, you would think they'd have more than a 14-0 lead, but they don't. Yep. Shotgun, Frenzel's pass thrown to Santonio Holmes. He's the burner. I mean, he is really a quick one. Derek Johnson making the tackle, but they've got enough for the first down. The ball would be put on the Washington 11, and time remaining is 34 seconds in the first half. Another moment now with
Color of those jerseys, Keith.
Nor am I.
I think the alumni may have a word to say about that yellow.
I got used to the other ones. I thought they were kind of good. You know, I kind of like that spooky looking stuff, but this yellow business, I don't know about that. Well, you're an alumnus. You're a famous Hall of Famer and all that kind of stuff. Go over there and get after it.
I don't quite have the cachet or the cash, period. Too much of a statement.
Ball's on the 11-yard line now for Ohio State. Frenzel's got it. Throw into the corner. It's incomplete. He called it off. Drew Carter was there, and the official was standing right behind him. Brock Alexander was the man who made the pass at the interception, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, flashing in front of Carter. Alexander must have disrupted his concentration on this ball. This ball's thrown just a little bit behind, and Alexander got a hand on that ball. He did more than just mess up the concentration. He knocked this one down and almost came away with a pick. And how big would have that been for Washington?
Would have been big.
27 seconds to play. And second down and 10 from the 11. I'm sure the Buckeyes would like 21 going to the clubhouse. Throws it hard, and the pass is complete. No, it is not. It is not. Drew Carter could not come up with it. It hit the ground, and it's another incomplete forward pass. Ball was thrown very quickly and very hard.
Yeah, the Buckeyes almost seem like they're taking it easy right now. They don't have the intensity they started the game with. They're kind of milling around, taking their time, getting back to the huddle. They know they're in control of this game, but they're letting the Huskies hang around. And if the Huskies can hold Ohio State to just a field goal here going into halftime, that will be huge for Washington.
Stefanovic coming over the ball. Spread out. Only man in the backfield is the quarterback, Craig Krenzel. Looks around to find somebody. Now gets a little bit of heat. Takes off with it. Still looking, still looking. He's shopping, and here he dives. Touchdown. My goodness. This man is a poised football player.
Resourceful. He froze the Washington secondary with the threat of throwing the ball. Great concentration, great field awareness where he was close to the line of scrimmage, keeping the threat of the pass alive, and then the effort to dive for one more touchdown. Craig Krenzel.
Mike Nugent comes up for the point now. Sander holds. That snap was a little bit off target, but he got it. And so with 11 seconds to go in the first half, it's 21-0 Ohio State.
You know, at first he comes back and he looks over this way and then just bides his time behind the line of scrimmage, always looking for a receiver. The protection is pretty good. He starts to run out to the left looking for Hartsock. Now he's got Bam Childress in the back of the end zone. But his head is always up. He had a shot there at Santonio Holmes, but hey, let's just go for another dive.
Well, Craig Krenzel knows the nature of things in the Big Ten, and you're talking to him this week. He said, yeah, we know we got a target on us.
I think at Ohio State there's always a target on you. You know, we come out every Saturday and we see every team's best. I think there's a number of teams that it would make their season to come out and upset the Buckeyes. And you know, I think this year that target may be a little bigger, due to what we accomplished last season. But you know, there's always a target nonetheless, and you know, it's not something that we really ever focus on.
Well, if he's the target, he is a moving target. Huskies have had no shot at bringing him down. 1 sack in the first half. And look at that leading rusher for the Buckeyes.
Squibber. And fielded. Bandel, I think, the tight end, took it at about the 30-yard line. So he's going to roll over and help him.
There's Reggie right there.
Well, Pickett takes off, runs out of bounds, and saves 4 seconds, so he's got one more snap. Kind of hold your breath, though, when you have a quarterback like Cody Pickett, and Cody's the lead horse on that wagon. You know that. And you hit it for 6 yards, and that was the longest run of the night for the Huskies. This is Alexis. And Alexis is taken right down the ball. The first half is over. Simon Fraser gets his 5th tackle of the night. And so the Ohio State Buckeyes, to be perfectly honest and blunt about it, they have been dominant in the first half, leading by a score of 21-0 over the Washington Huskies. Now here's Todd Harris. No, we haven't. Well, okay.
You know, Keith, at the end of that first half, Ohio State really took their time. They ate up all the clock. They got what they wanted with the touchdown, and they knew that when Washington would get the ball back, they wouldn't have any time.
Now we got Todd.
All right, thank you, Keith. Coach, it's tough to evaluate your team with only 1 half, but you got to be happy with the offensive performance.
I think they're playing hard. You know, we need to probably get a little bit more balance. We need to run the ball a little bit more. But, you know, we've got a little bit of maturity there with Craig Krenzel. He's making good decisions. He's stepping up and running, and he's adding some yards to our rushing total. But we've got a long way to go. Washington's a great second-half team.
They're not a bad running back in number 16. Are you surprised the way he's able to scramble tonight?
Well, you know, he was the leading rusher in the Fiesta Bowl.
No question. Thanks, Coach.
All right, halftime score is 14-0. Coming up next, the Valvoline halftime show with John Saunders.
And as Jim Tressel so clearly pointed out to Todd Harris, Krenzel was the leading rusher in the Fiesta Bowl tonight, 27 yards and 2 touchdowns. And unexpected speed out of the quarterback position as he just runs away from the Huskies on this 23-yard run that gave the Buckeyes the 14-0 lead. And then just great field awareness and patience, searching for a receiver, and then just decided to take it himself. 4 touchdowns in the last game and a half for Craig Krenzel on the ground.
He sits on the bench. Washington will have the ball first as we start the second half of play. Mike Nugent will kick it off. Rock Alexander and Johnson is back there to receive it. Derek Johnson. And it is Alexander who has some speed. Rock comes out to the 25-yard line, and he's taken down.
Our Pacific Live game summary. We'll take a look at our first half statistics, rather. All Ohio State. No rushing yards for Washington. 160-yard difference in total offense. 14 first downs. 21-0. All Buckeyes.
And there's been no rain. It's been a lovely evening to sit end of summer and watch a football game. Very pleasant. Here comes Cody Pickett now. A little bit of time. Throws the ball. It's incomplete. Intended for Adam Seary, his fullback. It was thrown quickly, and it was thrown behind Seary. And put that one on Cody.
Yeah, and when you're throwing to those big guys, whether they're tight ends or fullbacks out of the backfield, imperative that you do put the ball right on them. They're not used to reaching out, reaching behind them to make a catch. Now, a wide receiver makes that catch, but rarely will a fullback.
A.J. Hawk was also involved in the moment. He's going to be a good one, I think. That outside linebacker position. Little pass underneath, flip to Reggie Williams, and Reggie will get across the 35 up to the 37. That'll be a first down for Washington.
Take a look at our Nissan drive summary. 7 possessions in the first half for the Huskies, 6 punts, and then the end of the half. Not exactly how they have to perform against a top-ranked defense such as the Buckeyes.
Spread them out. This hasn't been particularly effective yet because the ball is in goal. That's a penalty flag. Defending Charles Frederick. Chris Gamble, I think, got a little greedy, and the flags flew.
Well, Gamble is a wide receiver naturally. He can anticipate the route by the split of the receiver. Frederick was split out so wide. Look how wide he is outside the numbers there. Actually comes off his primary responsibility and finds Frederick a little bit too soon on that skinny post route from Pickett.
Cody was lobbying quickly on the play too. So here's Washington now. Up around midfield. They're moving the ball a little bit. Coming out of the spread formation. That quick stuff on the slants might work, at least for a little while. But the defensive front for Ohio State has all night been able to generate pressure on Cody Pickett. Rolls it out, throws it. It's Frederick, and Frederick steps out of bounds at the 39-yard line of Ohio State. And that is just short of a first down for Washington. Just starting the second half of play, 21-0, Ohio State dominating the game.
And unfortunately for Washington, Frederick has to go out of the game because he lost his shoe. But he is starting to pick things up for Washington as they got a little pep going, a little jump in their step.
Second down and 1. There's your first down as the pass is completed to Reggie Williams, and now Williams is making a catch occasionally. That'll give him a total of 5 in the ball game. He's been pretty quiet, though. There's nothing big that's happened so far. This is what they call the horseshoe in Columbus, but it's been filled in the renovation process. They've committed about $330 million to their athletic facilities here. When they're done with it, and they're virtually done with everything now, it's the best in the country that I've seen, anyway. It's an incredible expansion by Andy Geiger, the athletic director, who has led it. That ball's thrown out of bounds and over the head of everybody as Reggie Williams and Chris Gamble in his hip pocket were over there.
Chris Gamble is so instinctive, and because he plays so much wide receiver, he can almost think along with his opponent as a cornerback. You see, that was a double move there by Reggie Williams. Ball thrown out of bounds on purpose by Pickett because number 7 was all over number 1.
To conclude my comment about the enlargement of the facilities and the growth of the athletic facilities at Ohio State, that includes men and women, and it is so good they now call it Andyland. So Andy Geiger. That ball squirts out of the hands of Rich Alexis. Cannot come up with it. Ball was very low, but he was available.
And he's got to make that catch, Keith. Yep. The Huskies are moving the ball. They're doing positive things. They're opening the second half as they wanted to. They're forgetting all about the run. The heck with the run. Let's go play to our strength. Our strength is the quarterback, Cody Pickett, throwing the ball to Frederick and Reggie Williams.
So now they're, after that drop, they're looking at the 3rd down and 10. Crowd starting to pick up the tempo a little bit here and the volume. And that forces Washington to go to the hand signals and Pickett back. Pressure coming, balls away. This one is caught by the tight end Joe Toledo, but again, it's the big man having to turn around to make the catch, and he can't pull himself back together and make any movement upfield. So it'll bring up 4th down.
Huskies are thinking, let's get some points out of this drive. Let's not come away with a 0. That's why Gilbertson has sent out the place kicking team, but there's no guarantee here with the brand new kicker in Evan Knutson.
Yeah, Knutson comes from Lacey, Washington, and this is pretty good size. It's 30. Yeah, it's 46 yards, and he made it. So Evan Knutson, a junior from Lacey, Washington, steps into it and laced it right down the heart. And so Washington, who had played 253 football games without being shut out, have dodged it again. Well, the Huskies getting ready to kick off. Let us spend a moment with Todd Harris.
All right, Keith. Well, Keith Gilbertson may be new to the Husky sideline as a head coach, but he certainly learned something from Coach Neuheisel, his halftime speech. I talked to him as he came out of the tunnel, and he was well lathered up. He said he knew coming into this that Ohio State's defense was solid, but he's more upset with his own defense, the mistakes they're making, the way they're playing. Don't be surprised, though, if their motivation steps up just a little bit, because prior to the halftime, Phil Snow, who's also known for giving strong speeches, told the defensive backs, if you don't start playing better, I'm bringing in the second string. Keith.
Ball is kicked into the end zone where Maurice Hall will put it down, and it'll be 1st down Ohio State out at the 20-yard line. ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. Sprint, proudly offering picture, mail, and PCS Vision picture phones. And Miller High Life, to live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. That's the High Life. Library here on campus, a campus scene offered you by our director, Mr. Patrick McManus. Buckeyes from the 21st down, leading 21-3 in the ball game. They'll run it, and they run it with Maurice Hall, who's done very well tonight, as they have used the tailback tandem of Hall and Liddell Ross.
And that tandem has really given the Buckeyes what Maurice Clarett gives them. Power and speed, and they've done a good job tonight of getting them both almost equal amount of attempts. Numbers aren't as high as they would like, but you got to like that 21-0, and then you put Krenzel numbers up there too with those 2 touchdowns.
2nd down and 9. Quick drop by Krenzel. Look at the throw. They get after him, and he gets the ball away and throws a knuckleball out of bounds. And now you got a penalty flag.
Yeah, you've got an offensive lineman downfield. In fact, it was the center, Mark Stepanovich, who was farther down the field than where the receiver was.
It's a foul on the Buckeyes because the center was wandering around in no man's land. But you had some, I thought it might have been thrown back there.
Intentional grounding, perhaps?
Well, either that or roughing, or there was all kind of things going on. Adrian Clark and Terry Johnson were sort of hooking horns on it too. So,
an eligible receiver downfield on the offense. Penalty is declined. 3rd down.
So the Husky defense said, we don't want that.
Let's check out the big center, Alex Stepanovich, the leader of this offensive line. It's going to be a screen pass here, and when the ball is finally thrown, he is 10 to 15 yards down the field, hustling, thinking the ball was already thrown and completed. Not really his fault.
So it's 3rd down and 9 now for the Buckeyes from the 21. Krenzel back, has time, gets it off, throws it over here to an uncovered tight end, Ryan Hamby. And it's a big play all the way out to the 41-yard line on the 1st down. Evan Benjamin finally brought him down.
Yeah, the big sophomore, 6'5", 255, only caught 2 passes all of last year, but he will never get more wide open than this. Coming all the way from the other side of the formation. Look at how that pocket allows Krenzel to step up and find, this is what you call an outlet receiver who is wide open.
He's looking around for somebody to run into. And he had to go 20 yards down the field to find him. So 1st down at the 41. They go back to the run, and it's Lydell Ross in there now, and not much. I'm not sure he got past the line of scrimmage.
This is where Ohio State will really try to work on this play clock. They're very good at snapping the ball, especially when they have a lead, shortening the game with their patience and deliberance on offense. Ball will be snapped when the clock is down around 5 seconds or less.
They're good at it. As long as you got the ball and running the clock like that, the other folks aren't going to do much damage to you. That's Ross with a spinning run and going just across midfield. He's 210 pounds. He's a junior out of Tampa, Florida. They're a yard away from their 1st down.
And he's running north and south. One of the things that running back coach Tim Spencer told me about Lydell is that he's got great moves, but so many times when you've got a running back with great moves, they're always looking to bounce it to the outside for the big home run shot down the sidelines. But if he can run the ball between the tackles, make one guy miss, that speed, that direct line to the end zone is a lot shorter.
There's going to be some Washington coaches who are looking for a bucket of nails to chew on when they fly home tonight.
There's Big Tim, 3rd all-time leading rusher at Ohio State.
That's Krenzel diving for the 1st down, and let's see which foot he uses. It's close. They'll bring the chains out. So time remaining in the 3rd quarter is at 10:53. Washington, when they came in last night, had to come through a whole bunch of thunderstorms, and it rained here. I mean, it was a gully washer for about an hour and a half or 2 hours yesterday afternoon. But they have pumps under this new field here at Ohio Stadium, and it sucks out the water from under the ground. I mean, the field was fine.
Yeah, we walked down there about an hour after the rain, and they say that it sucks out about 10 gallons an hour. Is that right? That's a lot of 10 inches.
10 inches.
Yeah.
10 inches.
Anyway, it's a great field. It's incredible that there's no soft spots on this field.
It's 4th down. He did not make it, so it's 4th and short. And sitting on a 21-3 lead with a team that dominated the ball game, Jim Tressel says punt it.
That was a big stop by the Huskies. That's exactly what this defense needed.
I'm surprised. I thought he might go. It's only 4th down and like a foot.
All right, here we go.
Sander lays it up there, pooching it. And it's fair caught. You know, the halo rule has been changed a little bit, and that is permissible. It's no longer 2 yards, but you got to let him have a chance to catch the ball. Now a moment with Todd.
Well, Keith, for the Washington Huskies, nerves certainly a factor. They come into this, they're playing the national champions in front of 100,000 people on national TV. But for freshman Taj Bomar, number 47, a reserve linebacker from Kent, Washington, this trip to Columbus doesn't represent a trip on a plane. This represents the first trip he's ever made on a plane. Grew up in the Cincinnati area, and when his family moved to Washington, they didn't fly, they took the train.
Pretty trip, but long. Here's Reggie Williams, and he's taken down. Number 75 reached him. Simon Frazier. Boy, he's played a good football game tonight. He really has.
Not a bad job there, Keith. You know, he's primarily supposed to rush the passer, but that pass was out of there so quickly. He turned and made the tackle on a very elusive Reggie Williams. This Husky team is young, and they will grow up a lot tonight.
Ty Eriks checks in at fullback now for the Huskies, a big sophomore out of Seattle. Buckeyes have 5 people along the front for this defensive set. Throw the ball outside. The ball is thrown to Ty Eriks coming out of the backfield, but not much to it. A.J. Hawk was there to make the play. Next Saturday, we invite you to join ABC Sports for a college football tripleheader at noon Eastern. Boston College meets Penn State, or North Carolina State plays Wake Forest. Then at 3:30, UCLA, Colorado, or often Georgia Tech, and at 8 o'clock, Florida and Miami, or BYU and USC. I think Southern California made quite an impression in the South tonight. Third down and 5. Pickett's got to throw it downfield a little. And he didn't have time to look around much because he was flat of his back.
Yeah, that's the problem with spreading out your offense like that. You don't give the quarterback enough protection to come off to his second receiver. Here's Will Allen right here. Will Smith, rather, number 93, totally unblocked because Alexis had to go inside for Darian Scott. Too many Buckeyes putting pressure on the quarterback.
Boy, Will Smith had a good ball game in the championship game. 8.5 tackles and just was force. Punt is out of there. Might be the best one of the night for him. Erickson. And this is Santonio Holmes trying to outrun the pursuit down the field. He goes right, and he's stopped just short of the 40-yard line. 8:57 to go in the third quarter. The Buckeyes are in control, 21-3. The ball back, first down on their own 39. We, with time permitting, invite you to stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report featuring scores and highlights from across the country. Tempo of the game has slowed some now, though Washington has moved it with a little more vigor here in the third quarter. Craig Krenzel goes back to the air and throws a bullet, and Michael Jenkins accepts it, and it's first down. Move the chains at the Washington 49. This is the 6th time we've had a night game along the Olentangy, which is full of water. I mean, it is full of water. In some places, it's flooded a bit this morning with all the rain. Jenkins is a very solid.
That is just a quarterback's dream, Keith, to have a lane to throw to and a receiver run such quick, precise route such as that one.
Throwing again, goes back to the sidelines, and again it's Jenkins. That's 5 catches for Michael Jenkins, and they've all resulted in first downs.
You know, he's 6'5", and normally a tall receiver like that doesn't run routes as sharply and precisely as Jenkins is doing tonight. That was the down and out route. Basically, we're having a real clinic here by Ohio State as they go to a timing passing offense.
Well, the dimensions of Jenkins are 6'5", 215. What Dan says about size is certainly true. Maurice Hall carries on the play, and my goodness, he picks up 8 yards.
This is where Ohio State's so effective with that big offensive line. wearing down a defense, a demoralized defense at that.
Randy Hart, who is the defensive line coach, assistant head coach for the Washington Huskies, an Ohio State graduate. Randy played on Woody's, was a guard on Woody Hayes' championship team of 1968. Oh, that's a pretty quick little nifty move there by Maurice Hall, and he goes for the first down and puts the chains down at the 23-yard line. Very quick little jukes, sidestep left, right, back left, and boom.
And I love the reaction afterwards. He's disappointed he didn't take it all the way to the end zone.
This is what the group that gathered on. That's Jim Tressel there on the left, and Chuck Heater, who was here as a coach for Ohio State, along with Tressel, and Randy right there. And then it's Don James on the right side of the picture there. Don, of course, coaching the Huskies for 10 years and won a national championship for them. He, too, is from Ohio. Don went to Kent State. In fact, he came from Kent State. The ball came out. I don't know if it was a complete pass where they had possession when he went out of bounds, and it looks like they're going to give him the catch. Huh.
Chris Massey
was involved, yeah.
Jenkins was thinking touchdown.
But Don James came from Kent State here in Ohio to Washington to begin his tenure.
Jenkins with the spin move to the outside. That's a nice tackle and ball punch out by Chris Massey. It's just kind of the way it's gone. Bounce of the ball against the Huskies tonight, as this one just goes out of bounds before Marquise Cooper can grab it.
Kind of like my golf game. When it goes bad, it goes bad. But when is it going to change?
Always tomorrow, buddy.
Second down and 4. Lydell Ross slashing to the right side, still a yard or so short. Randy Hart came into the stadium today. First time he had seen this enormous stadium, and Todd Harris talked to him for a moment.
Randy, your thoughts as you come back to Columbus now as the enemy?
Well, it's time to play football, and what a great venue we're in right now. They've done a wonderful job of enlarging the stadium. We understand it's going to be quite noisy tonight. I hope we're ready for it, and we're excited to be here.
What do you tell the kids as they get ready to play in the horseshoe?
Hey, the football field's 120 yards long by 52 2/3 yards wide. Let's go play. You know, none of these fans can come on the field. We're ready to play.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You know who he played for, of course? Woody. Sounded like it. Ball handed in the middle and into the end zone goes Lydell Ross. Well, that's what happens when you have a tired defense.
Worn down. Jimmy Newell, weak safety, coming up to make the tackle, and Lydell Ross left his cleat marks all over his chest. Huskies have been on the field a long time here in this second half on defense, and Ross with power and speed for the score.
Mike Nugent, who led the team in scoring a year ago, pops it up and pops it in. So it goes to 28-3. At 6:06 to go in the third quarter. That is the third OSU player to run for a touchdown tonight.
By Sean Taylor. He threw it right to him. And Clarett
stole the ball. Yes, he did, Keith. Maurice Clarett with the play of the game, perhaps. Nobody ever said there was anything wrong with his instincts on the football field. Maurice Clarett with a great play there in the third quarter. Ohio State went on to kick a field goal to give him a 10-point lead at 17-7 in which was just a fabulous title game last year.
Now, I'll tell you what, they need to leave him alone. Stop sticking cameras in his face and let him learn how to be a student, because he's going to have his problems until he decides he wants to be a student. He won't play football here at Ohio State until he becomes a student. It just seems to be the fair and decent thing to do. So far, they're working on it.
Well, that's what everybody else has to do. That's right. Part of the team.
That ball is kicked out of bounds. And so that'll cost them 5, and they'll do it again. Tim Anderson, who is a big defensive tackle for the Ohio State Buckeyes, had an opinion very similar to what I just expressed, and it seemed to me, then listening to the people A lot of people feel that same way, and they're not condemning Maurice. They're just saying, hey, it's time to do it.
You know, I've heard some things that are kind of minor that they're making big deals out of, but you know, obviously he's a college football player. He has to follow the rules just like anyone else, and you know, just like anyone else, if he breaks them, you got to pay the penalty for it. And you know, I think that goes in anything that anybody does. You know, no matter what they do for a living.
It's Tim Anderson, the defensive tackle, making a comment about the Maurice Clarett situation. Reggie Williams made that catch. The media can become a villain in this whole thing, though, as it goes on and things become more and more distorted. The more people write about it and talk about it. And should be left to the people to solve the problem.
Well, playing time is so valuable for each of these young men, and if you take it away, it will get those players attention.
Yep. It is 2nd down and 5 now as Reggie Williams picked up 5 on that pass reception for Washington. Ball is near the 40. Here's another quick one, and oh my goodness, he is hammered. I mean, E.J. Underwood put a helmet on him and just nailed. Here's John Saunders with another update.
Not just another one.
Said they were going to do. They didn't shut him out. But that's a powerful football team. Ball thrown to the sidelines. And Rich Alexis makes the catch.
Yeah, but he went down to one knee to make the catch. He's dead right there when he catches it.
It's right on the line of scrimmage, isn't it? Pretty much.
Well, the Huskies have said the heck with running the ball. They've had 3 possessions here in the second half and have thrown the ball 13 straight times without running it once.
Will Allen had him in his sights, but I think Alexis would have gotten something out of the play, but not with his knee on the ground.
But you can see the safeties here. They're playing deep. They're taking away anything deep, so they're forcing Pickett to just throw the short pass.
Drops that one off. You know, somebody will, in order to get a play of any substance, you'll have to break a tackle. The way things are going, Ty Eriks making that catch.
Yeah, and it seems like every time the one guy that could break a tackle is Reggie Williams, but every time he catches the ball, you see the umbrella defense for the Buckeyes. There are at least 2 or 3 men hitting Reggie. And on the dump offs here, obviously a big fullback like that's not going to make a defensive back miss. Only 1 of 9 converting 3rd downs for Pickett and the Huskies.
Spread him again. Here comes the blitz. Ball thrown quickly to Joe Toledo, the tight end. And that'll get it down to the 40-yard line and a 1st down for Washington.
Now Toledo's, he's not going to make you miss. He's going to run you over. 285-pound tight end. He's going to be a valuable weapon as the teams throughout the Pac-10 and whoever Washington's facing will double team Charles Frederick and Reggie Williams on the outside.
They got Indiana at home next week. Alabama won their opener with Mike Shula. Penn State winning their opener against Temple. Oh, went right through the hands of Bobby Whithorn. Dustin Fox was there to tattoo him, but
Now he's one of those true freshman wide receivers, Keith, and that's his first ball that's been thrown to him tonight. He'll never forget it, and perhaps Cody Pickett won't let him forget it either. How about this? Both Frederick and Reggie Williams out of the game here on this 2nd and 10.
3 wideouts. Williams, Quentin Daniels, and Sonny Shackelford the wideouts. So hand the ball away to Rich Alexis, and he finds a little crack and makes something out of it. He'll be a yard short of the 1st down.
And that's why Frederick and Williams were out of the game. They were getting a breather for that draw play. And they come right back in now. At least Frederick does.
That ended a streak of 16 straight passes. And that option play was late. They spread it out. Ohio State wouldn't let them turn up, and Cody Pickett threw the ball very late to Alexis, and there was no more room for Alexis to turn upfield.
That just shows you the versatility of this defensive line and their ability to get out and run. the speed to string out Pickett, and Alexis really gave Pickett no option at all on that option play.
Will Smith, Tim Anderson, Darian Scott, and Simon Fraser. They have been a tough bunch tonight.
Boy, haven't they?
4th down, they're going. Penalty flag.
Somebody flinched.
Yep.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5 yards, 4th down.
So that'll back them up 5, and that'll make it 4th down and 8.
That's the first penalty in the second half for Washington. What a terrible time for it, as they were going to go for it there on 4th down, but now they can't.
Yep, you wondered whether old Keither could get a little hot. The answer is yes.
That's that focus he was talking about.
Yep.
Or lack of.
They'll punt it. Garth Erickson. He's had a few tonight. 2, 4, 6, 7. This is number 8. And he's knocked it. Whoa! Coffin corner. 1-yard line. Out of bounds. So that's a pretty good piece of work by Garth Erickson. And while they change, let's go to Todd.
Keith, I got my hands on a bit of hardware, and I got a bit of hardware on my hands. These are the 2 rings that the folks at Ohio State enjoy. The one on the left is the national championship ring, the one on the right, courtesy of the fine folks here at Ohio State University. And this is the ADT National Championship Trophy that they will be giving away this year, January 4th, at the Sugar Bowl. Not too bad. Ohio State already has one. The game we did last year at the Fiesta Bowl. I think Coach Tressel and the boys would like to have one more. Keith?
I bet there's a guy looking to see if you make a quick exit. I don't know. Could you wear one of those things with your right hand? Where you shake hands with these big dudes and they just grind your bones. Your hand becomes dust with those big old rings on it.
That's why they invented the high five.
KFVR out to the 2. Krenzel carrying the ball, trying to get a little breathing room. Time remaining in the 3rd quarter is 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Obviously, Washington needs to get their hands on the ball. You're going to have to press things. You're going to have to force the issue here. You're going to have to blitz. You're going to have to plug everybody up along that line of scrimmage and try to create some type of turnover.
Well, most of the pundits of the Big Ten Conference area have seemed to indicate Michigan is their choice to win the conference this year. And what I'm seeing tonight, whoever does win it, if it's not Ohio State, it's going to be hard-earned. Lydell Ross carrying on that play. The Buckeyes do go to Michigan for that game this year.
There's Scott White, number 7. Coming on the blitz right here from his weak safety position. Now, that was a bad guess. He was playing as a linebacker in there, and boy, that's a great run blitz as he snuffed out that run.
White's a freshman out of Lemon Grove, California. Got good side, redshirt freshman, big kid. He's 6'2", 225 pounds, playing at that position, so he could leave a mark. 3rd down and 8. Krenzel out of the end zone, going to run it. Now throws it, and throws it away. So now they'll give B.J. Sander a chance to punt out of his own end zone. Huskies should get pretty good field position out of this.
And if B.J. Sander doesn't get this ball up in the air to allow the coverage team, Charles Frederick is capable of taking it back all the way. He had an 87-yard return on a punt against Idaho. And he's already lining up inside the 45-yard line.
Well, he's right back on the back line, too. Low snap. Got it out. Got a lot of air under it. Ball caught at the 48. Got a little crack. Whoa. That's a pretty good lick, too, as he got banged down at about the 32-yard line. Really hit hard. ESPN Original Entertainment's critically acclaimed drama Playmakers continues Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific Time on ESPN. As the Cougars are chosen for random drug testing. Why did they pick the name Cougars? Bad news for DH and Leon. Playmakers also available in high definition on ESPN HD. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. All right, here we go with Washington sitting at the Ohio State 32-yard line. And Cody Pickett dumps it off, trying to get it away before he was clobbered. And he got it away, and he was also clobbered by A.J. Hawk. Hawk coming full speed.
Hawk is number 47 rather, and he is a playmaker on defense. Got away from the pass blocking there and just put Cody Pickett down hard.
I like that, though. He didn't lay the helmet on him. He just pushed him down. That's good sport. 2nd down and 10.
But again, nobody in the backfield to protect Pickett.
Pass thrown a little bit behind again to Ty Eriks, the fullback. So here comes 3rd and 10. Steps away, got away there, now throws it. Oh! Incomplete forward pass. Nate Sally bangs Charles Frederick. Full-blown, full-speed collision. And it's 4th down.
That was a heck of a collision. Great job by Pickett to get away. Now he kind of gives his receiver up. And that's a heck of a shot by Sally.
Well, he put it on the receiver's hands, but the receiver had no chance to put it away. And boom.
Both players are feeling that one.
So back comes Garth Erickson to punt again.
But why aren't the Huskies going for it? 19 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. They're down by 25 points. Go for it here. Got good field position.
I kind of answer your question. That ball is going to go into the end zone, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line. An ex-juvenile delinquent from New York has one last chance. 11 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter, and they are in control without question. That's Maurice Hall carrying for a couple of yards. Clock rolls out. 3rd quarter's over. And after 3, it's 28-3. An ABC Sports presentation of college football returns after this message and the word. But not many. I don't know what the crowd count was tonight, but you can see here that it has been a totally Ohio State show. And the name over. 2nd down and 7. Krenzel looking around, dumps it off, goes to Hall. And Maurice Hall is pounding along, and he's got a 1st down out at the 31.
Take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. 3 different ball carriers have scored rushing touchdowns for the Buckeyes tonight. Mo Hall got it started from 2 yards out to give him a 7-0 lead. Then Craig Krenzel took over with a couple of beautiful runs. One from 23 yards out, this one from 11 yards. And then Lydell Ross, who shows the power and speed to give the Buckeyes their 28th point.
And they've got a 1st down out of the 31. Krenzel keeping it up. Now dumps it off again, and its tackle is made right at the line of scrimmage. In their statement. 2nd down, 9. That's Hall. And the 2 tailbacks now, as they're rotating those fresh legs in there, he's got another 1st down. So those 2 tailbacks have just beaten on the Washington defense now.
And they've all lost weight. Whoa.
A lot of protection. Ball gone deep. He's open. Can't get it. Krenzel had him. He was clear. Drew Carter was clear by 3 yards, and he couldn't hit him.
They don't need another fullback.
Scott White tackle on Maurice Hall. There are the numbers for the two tailbacks for the Buckeyes. The longtime team physician of 41 years, Dr. Bob Murphy, passed away a week ago today here in Columbus. He retired in 1993, but he was one of the physicians who led to sell the idea of hydration for athletics, and was a leading proponent of that and helped sell the idea. And now the water buckets everywhere in the hot summertime when people are outdoors doing things.
Yeah, back in the old days, Keith, as you well know, that water was forbidden on the football field, whether it was practice or a game. They thought that you weren't getting tough, you weren't getting in shape if you were drinking a lot of water. They wanted you to do something gross like spit cotton. Dried saliva.
We had some cotton mouth around here a little bit, I think, early in the night, but it's gone by now. That's the best kick of the night, I think, for B.J. Sander. He put a lot of air, owned it, floated all the way down to a fair catch at the 11-yard line. 52-yard punt and no return. Iota over there, the old Intangi over here, and there we are. We've had these great aerial shots of the game, courtesy of our friends at Outback Steakhouse, the Bloomin' Onion One, with the aerial coverage. Here's Cody Pickett with a little time, believe it or not, and the pass is incomplete. Man, that was a lick. Brandon Mitchell tattooed Bobby Whitmore.
The Chevrolet drive summary will show us the second half possessions for UW. They had an average field position start of their own 36-yard line. Just got one field goal out of that first drive when they went 8 passes out of 8 plays.
Rich Alexis on the carry. Runs it up to the 19-yard line. They've got to go to the 21 for the first down. I would venture to this comment that the Maurice Clarett soap opera has had very little effect on the Buckeyes, whereas I think the coaching problems or the change of coaches in Washington has had impact on the Huskies.
Yeah, I'd agree with you, Keith. Neither of these teams were blindsided by what has happened. But the Buckeyes replacing a player with 2 players has worked out a lot better for them.
Ball lobbed just over the head of the defender, and Reggie Williams could not. He was a half a step short and couldn't reel it in.
Well, the effort is there. 8 catches tonight for Reggie Williams, but only 80 yards on those 65 yards. So he's averaging about 8 yards per catch because of this man. And the real bonus for Ohio State is that Gamble has not had to play as many plays as he might have had to if the game was tighter.
Well, that matchup, one would have to say, this time around goes to Gamble. Ball is punted, fumble. Huskies have it. Bounced out of the hands of Santonio Holmes. He might have been peeking and looking where to run and didn't look it into his arms. And it bounced away from him, and Scott White recovered it for Washington.
Well, Luke Fickell, their special teams coach, says this is the only knock about this young man, a redshirt freshman, is he has had a tendency to fumble the ball. And as a punt returner, you cannot do this. He's trying to make a move here. Takes his eye off the ball. His eyes are down the field. Owen Biddle with the hit there, and the recovery by the Huskies.
And they're at the Ohio State 48-yard line, and Luke, who played a lot of defensive line at Ohio State, mid-nose guard, actually. The ball is completed to Rich Alexis, and Alexis will carry it inside the 30. And that's another Husky first down.
Alexis got out of bounds, but if the ball is inbounds, the Huskies have got to go to a hurry-up offense. Got to get this one in, take advantage of this turnover by the Buckeyes. Perhaps onside kick. They got to just throw caution to the wind and throw the ball and get after it quickly.
Ohio State showing a little bit of ability to make some mistakes. They might be getting a little tired too, you know. in the first game of the season. Pickett rolls it out. Now he's going to take a big sack. I mean a big sack. Robert Reynolds, linebacker.
Well, Reynolds had him wrapped up, Keith. He was not going to let Pickett get free, get that right arm free to throw the ball away. He drove Pickett back a long way. In fact, they are saying the rush, all this from right there. All this will be marked back to where Reynolds first made contact, and then adding insult or injury to insult, rips his helmet off.
Put it back at the 38-yard line. Well, that's a bit of a gift for Pickett. Hands the ball away to Eriks, Ty Eriks, and there's not much there for that. They've got to go to the 18-yard line to get a first down, and they're a long way from there. Time permitting, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report featuring scores and highlights from across the country. There were some surprises today. There were a few good games, and there were some one-sided games. One of the big games a lot of people were eyeballing was that Oklahoma State-Nebraska game at Lincoln. Nebraska won that. Ole Miss pulled one out against Mark Loomis's alma mater. Alabama won big, scored 40 points. Pickett under pressure, got to throw it in a hurry, and now he gets it off, and it is incomplete. A.J. Hawk got a dive at it, and now you got a penalty flag.
Yeah, I think they're going to get Simon Fraser for roughing Cody Pickett. Pickett has been battered and bruised this entire evening.
He's impressive. I'll tell you, he's had a big ball game tonight.
I'm sure he's impressed Cody.
He's the new starter on that defensive front. All the guys started last year. Up the middle, there's a little daylight for Rich Alexis, and he's at the 15-yard line, and they're looking now for the first down mark at the 11. There were 900 members, alumni members out here tonight, marching and beating their drums and blowing a horn and taking part in pregame ceremonies with the Ohio State University marching band. And it was really spectacular. It truly was. I mean, the whole field was covered with people, and the stadium was full of people, and red and white. It was really striking.
4 script Ohio's. That's a new school record.
And again, the Buckeye defense raises up, and Will Smith is there to stop Rich Alexis.
And amazing, Keith, with a 25-point lead, that all the starters for Ohio State are still in there on defense.
Well, they're just seasoning them, getting them in shape. I imagine some of them will be leaving shortly, because unless the Huskies pop one in the end zone, it's 28-10. Then they get another break and get another quick touchdown. Then you get serious again.
Oh, your glass is half full, is it?
Oh, yes. I got to get back to the hotel somehow. Pickett being chased. Gets it off. Incomplete. The intended receiver, Joe Toledo, was falling down. And Will Allen was with him, but if he'd stayed upright, he might have had a chance at that.
Will Allen, who wore number 26 last year, made a number of big plays for the Buckeyes. And again, Keith Gilbertson decides he wants 3 points instead of 7. Amazing.
Knutson will try a 35-yard field goal. He made one from 46. Oh, that's blocked. Low kick, and it's blocked.
And it was blocked right up the middle.
Was it Gamble? Or maybe Fox?
Fox is a great leaper. He's got a 42-inch vertical leap, and he snuffed that low kick.
So the Huskies have turned away, and at 6:50 to go in the game, it's still 28-3. Craig Krenzel is finished for the day, I do believe. And he has had himself a fine night. 15 out of 27, 203 yards. A couple of touchdowns on the ground running. He ran 8 times, picked up 27. Scott McMullen from Granville, Ohio. Senior is in there at quarterback for his first action of the season. He's a good one.
All right, umpire.
He's a good quarterback.
Yeah, at this point last year, it was still the starting job for the Buckeyes was still up in the air between McMullen and Krenzel.
Yep. And they got a freshman waiting to play too, a fellow named Zwick.
Redshirt freshman.
Yep.
And we saw Troy Smith earlier in the game when the Buckeyes tried to fool the Huskies with Krenzel and Smith in the game at the same time.
Ira Guilford is the deep back for the Buckeyes now. He gets it and runs into a stack. Thursday night, the NFL season will start on ABC at 8 Eastern Time. You've got Aerosmith, Britney Spears, Mary Blige, and Aretha Franklin on stage for NFL Kickoff Live. Then at 9 o'clock, you've got the New York Jets and the Washington Redskins. And then the weekend wraps up Monday night with Tampa Bay Buccaneers facing off against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, and it looks like it might be an alumni game for some ex-Jets now with the Redskins as they meet their old team.
Oh, just off the fingertips of Irizarry.
You know,
Irizarry had to go right down to his shoe tops and couldn't reel it in.
Keith, you saw that great play by Dustin Fox blocking that field goal, and our crack spotter Monte Carlo Kelly Hayes points out to me that in his bio it says his favorite sportscaster is Keith Jackson, and the legend continues.
Good for him. The attendance tonight is 105,078. That is the third largest crowd ever. On the run, it's Frederick. And he's out of bounds. Charles couldn't quite turn it upfield because there was nobody there to help him. And Washington gets the ball back with pretty good field position to play in the game. Buckeyes have dominated. Washington playing for pride and dignity now. Ball goes to Frederick, and Charles is out of bounds. Underwood knocked him out. ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by Chevy Silverado. It's the right truck. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you. And Pacific Life, annuities, insurance, investments. Use the power of Pacific Life. Pickett back on 2nd down and 10, throws to the sidelines. Reggie Williams has it, 1st down.
You know, Keith, the question for Washington how will they respond to this loss? Last year against Michigan, this seemingly one game was taken away from them because they had 12 men on the field. This field goal won the game for Michigan and really destroyed the Husky season. Took them at least till the end of the season before they responded and rebounded. Question for Gilbertson is how will they react after this lopsided loss?
Pickett running around. Cody now gets a pass off. He's got a man open. He hits him right on the numbers. It's Charles Frederick. And Frederick goes out of bounds short of the goal line. He's where they're going to put him, about the 1 or 2.
You know, Cody Pickett's going to compete. He's been beat up pretty good tonight, running for his life. That was a great throw, running to his left and finding Frederick open over the middle.
They got him marked on the chalk at about the 9-yard line.
Watch this release, Keith. He is running sideways, squares his shoulders, and puts the ball right on the 10.
And so they go to an I formation set, give the ball to Alexis. And Alexis bangs in there and gets, not much. About 2 yards. And the Ohio State defensive front pretty much remains intact.
Pickett has been sacked twice tonight, Keith, but knocked down and bruised a number of times.
You got Quinn Pitcock in there. He's a reserve. And Penton is in as well. So the reserves are in there. I thought I saw Tim Anderson still on the field on the 54. And that's an incomplete forward pass to Reggie Williams.
And another double team by the Buckeyes. They know where Pickett is looking. He's looking for number 1. Williams 9 catches. goes, but just 76 yards. So his ability to get deep has been thwarted tonight. Look at the coverage on the inside. Pickett just trying to force that ball to him before Tyler Everett can get there.
Marcus Green is now into the ball game too along the defensive front. So they've got depth. Ohio State's got a goodly bit of depth along the offensive line as well as the defensive line. There was probably some contact along the front as the Bucks showed blitz.
False start on
And
the
it's a
offense.
Husky.
Good ball.
It's not going to embarrass some guy. Can't hear it anyway. That ball is thrown to Frederick. He tries to slip away from the tackler inside the 10-yard line, and there was nothing there for him as Yabodi made the tackle. He's a freshman. Ashton Yabodi.
Pressure right up the middle again against Cody Pickett.
We're at 3:45 to go in the ball game. We're looking at 4th down, and this time Washington's going to go for it. You get a Bronx cheer from the crowd. Throws it. That's a penalty flag. Oh my goodness. Underwood was right on the back of Reggie Williams. I mean, he was riding him from the get-go, and the flag came out before the ball got there.
Yeah, no controversy about this pass interference.
Line defenders have come in. The linebackers, see Hawk is back in the ball game. The down linemen, however, remain reserves as the Huskies come up on 1st and goal. Pickett keeps it. Going to try to run it in, and he does. And the Huskies have a touchdown. So Pickett rolled it out and then cut it back up an alley, and he walked in. And it's a chance to go to 10 points with a kick. And that's what they will do is, I think.
Yeah, he was trying to find Joe Toledo, but the Buckeyes put 2 men on Toledo, and that allowed Pickett to have a clear free run to the end zone.
They're going to go for 2. Might as well get some practice in while you're spending the evening down by the old Olentangy.
Well, what they basically just ran there is a 2-point play.
Yep.
A little play action pass. Now they bring in the wide receivers because they're out just a yard farther. Watch for Reggie right here.
Frederick goes in motion. And a second. Mike DeAndrea broke through. DeAndrea getting healthy again. He's a good player, and he gets a sack there to spoil the 2-point try. 28-9. Might as well. You ready to go? No. Punched it down the field. Goes all the way to the end zone. And it'll come out to the 20-yard line. Well, the Buckeyes obviously have plenty of points to win the ball game, and they're going to start their season successfully. And I think that Jim Tressel, his staff, and his team will have to go home tonight thinking with some degree of confidence, because they have absolutely controlled this football game.
And they put the distraction and the chaos of the Maurice Clarett situation behind them, and really focused well and got great performance out of their quarterback, Maurice Hall, and Lydell Ross.
You get San Diego State followed by NC State. NC State could be a threat because they're throwing team in very fast. And you've got Justin Swick. He's in there at quarterback now. He's one for the future. Fumble. Ball rolling around. The Huskies chasing, and they have it. Washington has the football. So on the first play, Rashawn Parker turns it loose, and suddenly Washington has it back at the 15, and a little quick pop here, and the score is respectable.
Number 98 for the Huskies popped that ball loose. That's Dan Milston, who did not start tonight because of a bad knee, but he got that right hand in on that ball, knocked it loose for the Huskies.
And the offense back on the field. Pickett turns, gives to Alexis. He runs into his own man for a moment, which delays him a bit. But he will pick up a couple of 3 yards on the carry anyway with the offensive line surge.
doing on the ground for the Huskies tonight. That's 14 carries now for Alexis for only 23 yards.
Well, Ohio State's first conference game will be Northwestern here, followed by a trip to Madison, and Camp Randall's a tough place to win. And Barry Alvarez pulled one out at West Virginia today, but you know Barry's he makes it hard to beat him, and he's hard to beat at home. He's got a fairly good team building up there. This is Alexis, and he gets by the first man and gets down to about the 10-yard line. 2.5 minutes to go in a ball game. But Minnesota, I think, has the kindest schedule in the Big Ten. Their conference road games are Northwestern, Penn State, and Iowa and Illinois, but they get all the big guys at home. They've got Michigan, Michigan State, Indiana, Wisconsin, all at home. Well, we'll see. It's a long time between here and December.
Yeah, you look at that schedule one more time. They have 4 more home games before they have to go to Camp Randall Stadium.
No, that's true.
They know how to schedule.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. Pickett puts it high, and there's nobody there. Nobody home.
And look who's down on the ground one more time. Cody Pickett, as the Buckeyes come with a full-out blitz that time, trying to get the ball in a jump ball situation. Use Williams, who's 6'4", over the 6'2" Gamble. No time to do it.
Charles Frederick was on his hands, but he wouldn't, I don't think, made it to the end zone because the defender was right on his shoulder. And so they're turned away. Pickett's still out there. A lot of people have gone to the sidelines, and new people are coming back. Ohio State's national titles, you had one in '42 with Paul Brown, the coach. Woody Hayes won a pair in '54-'57, and a third one in '68. And then when that was when Bo Schembechler took the Michigan job, and then Ohio State goes up there undefeated in '69, and Bo Beatty. And Michigan really became the school to the north, and the rivalry was really on. Today's Chevrolet players of the game are Craig Krenzel for Ohio State and Cody Pickett for Washington. Cody 24 out of 46 for 213 yards and a rushing touchdown. Craig Krenzel 15 out of 27, 203 yards in the air, 8 carries, 27 yards running, and 2 touchdowns. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet making a $1,000 contribution to each unit. A matter of running off the clock now as it starts to roll at 2 minutes to play in Wounds Healed, and I think they've got a chance to win. They got a chance to win. 4 or 5. They could conceivably win all of them. Hand the ball off to Ira Guilford, and Ira is gang tackled right about the line of scrimmage, and we go inside 2 minutes to play now.
And the boos because the Huskies call another timeout, their third and mercifully their last timeout.
Or if you haven't had dinner. Ira Guilford again, and they roll him down. And the Huskies have no more times out.
It'll be interesting to see, Keith, here if the Huskies try to block this punt. B.J. Sanders done a good job tonight of getting punts off. The goal, according to Luke Fickell, is to get it off within 1.95 seconds. It's under 2 seconds, I guess.
Well, he was out there. You know, it's always interesting to see what coaches do in warm-up, and Luke was out there like I guess special teams coaches always do, where we just stopwatch when the Huskies were punting in the warm-ups to how long it took for the center to snap the ball, or the snapper to get the ball. Yeah, they tried to block it.
Yep.
And he got it out. Nice kick by Sander. And it's fair caught by Charles Frederick up at the 48-yard line. You know what? We've been here 4 days, I guess. And I have been inundated by the Maurice Clarett story. Now I'm ready to go back to the West Coast.
Well, I guess the situation will be made more clear this week.
Yeah, Andy Geiger indicated it might be done this week. At least the university will have its response, but you still have the academic thing that is in the hands of entirely other people. And the academic Pickett's pass to the sidelines, perfectly thrown. Roger Williams makes the catch. And it comes very, very late, but it's a good play down inside the 20 to near the 17-yard line.
Buckeyes played in the championship game last year, taking away the dangerous wide receiver.
Yeah, very, very much like they played against Miami. Pickett tripped up.
That's true freshman David Patterson. How about that?
Yeah. David Patterson.
Look at how excited he is.
Well, he's not even touching the ground.
That's great.
There's another one. Almost got Pickett. They did put him on the ground.
Boy, how about Uncle? Gilbertson might be thinking about, hey, let's see what Casey Paws can do. This is going to be a long season for Cody Pickett if he survives tonight.
Well, you know, I thought we might see Isaiah Stanback come in and run the option some. That catch is made by Quentin Daniels for Washington. But we haven't seen Stanback. And he's the young man from Garfield High School who has really a good runner.
Yeah, true freshman.
Yep. And the game's over. So your final score is Ohio State 28 and Washington 9. Stay tuned for your late local news, except on the West Coast. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com, keyword ABC Sports. And don't forget, Thursday night NFL kickoff.